Scorpio, and welcome to your February tarot reading for 2025. My name is Echo, and I realize I am behind on my readings for this month. I do apologize. It's been a very busy month. Before we get started, I just want to let you know we are dealing with a few things. We had a new moon in Aquarius starting off this month, so I hope you are setting intentions with forward thinking and seeing what you could change in a very futuristic way, because Aquarius is always 2 steps ahead. The full moon on that will be coming to fruition this week. This is a full moon in Leo on the 12th. And then we have a Mercury retrograde, the planet of action and aggression, that will be retrograding until February 23rd. So if you feel a little cross or a little off-put during the month, don't worry, you're not alone. So go ahead and start your reading. So far, I'm seeing a lot of creative energy, a lot of massive potential across the signs, and I'm sure yours is going to be no different, Scorpio. So here we go. All right, for your rune card, you have Isa. This one did pop up before, and you watched me shuffle the deck. Isa is the rune of stillness, frozen, and ice. So if at this point you feel like you're a little frozen and not able to go forward with the things you might want or the things you want to see come about, don't worry, because if you've been working hard, you are going to see those come about in the full moon and in the months to come, because we are looking into 2025 and we're only in February, Scorpio, so there's still lots to go. All right. For your animal spirit deck, you have the otter spirit. You are never alone. Otters are very social creatures, very playful creatures, and Scorpio, sometimes you guys get the bad rep for being very no nonsense. You can be very direct when the occasion calls for it, but I know a couple Scorpios, and you do very well on your own, and I think this card is more nodding to the point that if you need assistance in any direction as February progresses, it is there for you. But if you ever feel like you're alone and you're better off that way, that's okay too. But you don't have to be that way. Otters are very friendly, playful individuals. So if you're feeling lighthearted at any point this month, go with the flow, ride that energy, and see where it takes you. The Butterfly Oracle deck has grief work. So if you do have any Scorpio, not just as your sun sign, this could be your ascendant. Whenever you go for readings, I recommend you check your ascendant first, then your sun and your moon, and so forth. But if you do have Scorpio anywhere in your chart, you may be dealing with grief in a situation. You may have lost a loved one very recently. This isn't saying that anyone's passing away. This would be something that's already happened. So you may be grieving that situation, and you may be trying to make peace with the loss of a loved one, but Spirit is telling me they're still with you. Whoever this is, this was a loved one, somebody who meant a lot to you. And I'm getting more of a family friend than a vibe. It could have been a friend that was so close they felt like family, if that applies to you. Because sometimes we adopt our own family, later in life, not necessarily blood relatives. But this does give you more of a blood relative vibe. You may be grieving over someone you lost, either like they've passed on from this realm into the spirit realm, they've passed away, or you just aren't connecting anymore. They may be in a situation that has them not able to connect with you. I'm not sure who this is for, but if that is you and you are working through that grief work, you have the social connections at this time. My heart goes out to you, dear Scorpio. I really hope that everything's working well for you this month. Just do your best to work through that and harness whatever light energy comes your way, okay? Next, you have reclaim. Reclaim is pointing towards there may have been a feeling of a loss. Like we said, grief work popped up, but it also means like reclaiming your own power. You may feel like something has been taken away from you. It could be the old way you used to do things. It could be an old habit you used to enjoy. You're reclaiming that power. You're reclaiming whatever that was and bringing it back into your energetic sphere in the month of February, because you have found that it is going to serve you better than having to deal with the status quo and the way things are. You may have had to shelve a project or put aside a certain relationship or connection to focus more on yourself at this time, Scorpio, and that's fine. Sometimes growth is going inward, and we find that's where we do our most powerful growth at that time. So if that is the case, you are reclaiming whatever it is you had to put down or whatever it is you feel was taken from you to move forward in the month of February. Next, you have action. Okay, so given that we started with Isa, the frozen and the ice rune, and we're doing a bit of soul work here, it's good to see that action card because as you see, the woman in the card is dancing under the light of the moon here. And it says that she is free to be whoever she is in whatever dreams, whatever lighthearted energy she has when she's on her own in the quiet of night. That's where she's most active. So we do have a north node in Pisces right now and south node in Virgo as the nodes have changed. South node in Virgo will point you towards things you already know, things you're already aware of, things that are on your radar for your highest good. That's your south node. And with Virgo, that is health. It could be health habits. It could be your sleeping habits, even. But the North Node in Pisces is a very dreamy energy, which is calling you towards the thing you're very passionate about. Towards where you get your dreams come from. So if your dreams are talking to you in the dead of night, something wakes you up and you have sort of those aha moments. Don't be afraid to stop, sit with that. If you can't go back to sleep, journal, jot down some notes, play with that energy a little bit, because I'm kind of getting the vibe that this is where your action's going to be. Or it could be something that comes to you in daydreaming during the day. It doesn't necessarily have to be night, Scorpio. This is you're being spurred to action. So if you have been still, do the spiritual work because the time for action is definitely coming in February. So beginning your reading, you have the Three of Pentacles. I love this card for you because in the Celtic cross, this is your energy and what you're bringing to the table, where you're at right now. The Three of Pentacles speaks of creativity, a creative action, and pentacles are of the earth realm, okay? They are things that are tangible, things we can touch, things we can see. So this could be hobbies, this could be jobs, this could even be your money, you know, what you're making. Things you're trying to make things on a side hustle or making maybe a new way to approach your job, what you're making of that job. You may be going in for a raise. You may be hoping for a raise. So the fact that this is your starting energy means we're off to a really good start. Scorpio, I get this reading, I just hear hit the ground running, okay? You're absolutely just hitting the ground running this month. Crossing you is the King of Swords. King of Swords is a very wise king. He has his head on straight and he leads with wisdom. He is not afraid to be direct and to the point, and that is very much you, Scorpio. If this energy is crossing you, it tells me this is how you're deciding to approach situations at this point. Someone may be very direct with you. And yeah, it feels, excuse me, I just need a little drink here. It feels like there's going to be no nonsense energy as you address the month of February. This is how you're acting. And you really feel like anybody who comes at you isn't really looking to play around with you. They're coming to you with straightforward intentions. At your base, you have the 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is all about the celebration. Cups are a water energy. They're emotions, dreamy energy. We talked about the dreams with Pisces. And if this is at your base, that tells me you are not afraid to be direct when it comes to your dreams. You know your dreams have value. You know your dreams have worth. And you're only going forward on things that bring you that joy, that 10 of Cups energy, that really make you feel fulfilled. And that's awesome because if that's where you operate from and you leave no gray area about it, then that is where you're going to come to fruition and get the best outcome. Because if you lead with your heart, Scorpio, like I said, you can be very direct. Some people just don't know how to take you, but you've got a big heart, right? So if you're leading with that big heart has a lot of strength, and that's what people can't take. Sometimes it's a little too direct, and you mean what you say, and you're very blunt about it, but it's because you have so much passion behind it. You're not a bad guy. Next, you have the Eight of Swords. Now, the Eight of Swords is all about blocked energy. Swords are a very airy, mental energy, intellect, dealing with technology and communication. So if this is next to you, it may be that you're having trouble communicating with a specific party, what it is that will bring you joy, even though you're being direct. Either there's a blockade in the communication because they don't quite understand you. They may not appreciate or even understand your communication style. Likewise, I'm also kind of feeling, guys are telling me that either emails or phone calls, text messages, something's either being ignored or just not going through. So double check that you have phone numbers or email addresses correct. If you have the chance to see this person face to face, be sure you have that information pinpointed. I don't know who that's for. I feel like that is for someone directly though. Likewise, if you're blocking yourself in the way you communicate, which I really don't get this is from you, don't be afraid to pull punches, Scorpio, because you're scared of being the bad guy. Those who know you know how you operate, and they understand when you're direct. That's literally you just trying to take the guesswork out of things and streamline the process because it's easier for everyone that way. Like I said, I really don't feel like that's you blocking any communication. But if any communication adversely is coming at you in a way that doesn't work for you, and you really need someone to wait till you're in a better headspace or clarify things for you, don't be afraid to ask that of them, because nothing can mess up a plan worse than miscommunication. Okay, misunderstandings can get blown out of proportion, and we certainly don't want that. Crowning you, you have the Two of Swords. Again, swords is the airy communication and intellect energy. This is crowning you, so it feels like you see where communication is blocked, and you're trying your best to avoid that, and that's why you're taking this direct approach with the King of Swords. You're trying your best to not be blocked off. So if someone feels inaccessible, either because the communication information, like an email or a number or a text message or whatever, if something isn't going through, you're going to streamline that process because you see that that is the potential pitfall, and you're already aware of the situation. The immediate outcome you have to this is the Five of Wands. So in the Five of Wands, you will see this card presented different ways. Most people are in combat. In this instance, this woman actually tied to the stake has the wands pointed at her as she's bound to one, but it does mean conflict. So there is going to be some sort of the way you communicate and what you're trying to get to create the highest good, not just for yourself with this Ten of Cups, Scorpio, but for everyone around you. There is going to be some conflict in this, but I don't really see that it's going to bear too long. A lot of this may be because, and you need to check where Mars is in retrograde in your chart at this point, and as it goes to direct, it will station on the 23rd, so it can go direct, which is just means that it's the speed of the planet. It's never actually moving backwards when it's retrograde. The energy of Mars is going to be more favorable. So taking action, you will see fruits of your labors more directly. But I'm thinking that this lack of communication or a hindrance in communication may be what causes this conflict until we get to that point in the month. The energy you are bringing to the table in this reading is the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is a very studious messenger type individual who wants to spread the word to bring things into reality, because we are talking about pentacles here. It is things you can touch, things you can see. So Scorpio is looking to bring things to a very real material realm at this point. So that tells me there may be somebody who you feel is hindering you, Scorpio, but you're not really having it. You're the kind of person who wants to get real, I'm hearing down to the nitty gritty, okay? And that's how you operate, Scorpio. It's not that you're the bad guy. It's you like to make things direct so things can be very straight and to the point and take the guesswork out, which is a beautiful thing in times like these where things can sometimes be a little iffy. We don't have the communication we need, or we're not really sure the message someone's trying to convey. Spirit is bringing the Ace of Cups to you. So in the Celtic Cross, which is the spread I'm using here, this is what Spirit is bringing to the reading. The Ace of Cups says that you are going to see some sort of victory on an emotional level. Aces are all about success, the fruition, what it is we're looking for, what it is you want to bring about coming into being, and the start of that journey. So the Ace of Cups says that there is a happy beginning, which will, beginnings create new ends, and ends create space for a new beginning, because you have to start a journey with a beginning to get to the end. And everything you put out there does eventually come to an end. All good things must come to an end. But Spirit says that there is an Ace of Cups energy here. There is something good coming to fruition from all the work you're putting in. And you are going to see it as the month progresses. In your position of hopes and fears, you have the Empress card. The Empress is so powerful. She can literally just wave her wand, and whatever it is she brings about comes into being. So she has this spinning wheel here in this card as she holds the wee babe, as she sits upon her throne in this luscious wood, okay? And she is typically surrounded by greenery or treasures of some kind. So as she sits here spinning the wheel, she is spinning her own fate. She is creating the tapestry of her family and her legacy, I guess you could say, as she holds the wee babe in her hands. The wee babe in her hands symbolizes not only where she came from as a babe herself, but the family and the new beginnings that are coming from the hard work she put in and what she is creating from all that she took to be the Empress. And that spinning wheel is literally weaving her legacy, weaving what it is she wants into being and what she wants for future generations to come. Given that this is in your position of hope and fear, Scorpio, this says to me that you are hoping that all your hard work is going to go, if not noticed, just to something. It's going to count for something. You don't want your everyday, your 9 to 5 to feel like it's hopeless and it's just an endless schlub of, do the work, go home, do the work, go home, because that's really not a passionate existence. And you're very fearful that some days it feels that way, and you're hoping that what you're doing really does count for something. But Scorpio, you're the kind of person who cuts through all the nonsense to bring things into reality, which makes you a very powerful manifester, not just for yourself, but for the people around you, the people that see you work and follow in your footsteps, or the people that you give advice and they take that, the people who rely on you to help them carry forward so they can create something. So I really don't see that the effort you're putting in is going to go to waste, Scorpio. I wouldn't worry too much about that, because you are creating something very powerful with this Empress card. And the overall outcome of this reading, the long term, you have the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is a very friendly energy. You'll see the dolphins in the background. Dolphins, like the otters, are friendly, social creatures, and they are very intellectual. They are very smart. So if you're going forward with King of Cups is, again, fluid, heart energy. If you're going forward with everything in the energy you have here in a very authentic way, because you are keeping stock of those around you with the You Are Not Alone card, while reclaiming your right. If you stand in your own right and you stand in your own truth and tell it like it is, you're doing it all from the heart, and that is going to come back in a way that gives back to you emotionally. It is going to serve you in a way that really makes you feel like you did your best and you created something beautiful. So I love that for you, Scorpio. February is going to be a very emotionally rewarding month for you as the month passes out. So I just want to see what may Scorpio not see coming in this month. Like I said, we have a lot of twists and turns astrologically. What does Scorpio maybe not see coming in this month? You have the Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Swords speaks to an energy of time for rest. You've put in the battle, time for a little bit of downtime. So just be wary that you're not overextending yourself. Swords, again, air energy. A lot of it's going to feel like a mental battle this month. You're not the only one, Scorpio, but there is a lot of swords here along with the other suits for you. Swords are kind of taking the center stage. So if something is emotionally tiring and you find that it's not worth the mental energy, it's okay to step away from it and just take a break and then move back in whenever you're ready with more of that heart space, with more of that fiery passion of the wands, okay? So that's for somebody, I feel. If you feel the need to rest and step away from a situation, do that, Scorpio, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. I can speak from experience when I say that emotional pain, physical pain, and mental pain all hit differently, but they all hit just as hard, okay? So I just want to see what blessings is Scorpio capable of this month in February, because you're bringing a lot of great energy to the table. What blessings is Scorpio capable of? You have the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is all about bringing things down to earth, reality, which is already in your reading. But he is the rich king. He is the king who got where he is because he's been through this stuff, okay? He has life experience. So you're going to be able to draw from that experience to create new endeavors, to create new material, new realistic realities for you, both on the material plane and in experiences. And by that, I mean you may find a new job, you may find a raise if you go for it. Check the astrology for you and see where perhaps in your house of money is in the chart, and where your house of occupation, I believe that's in the 10th house in your chart, and then the third is what you're going to need. So if you just follow those, see where those land in your chart and what planets are moving through them. You might want to work with that Mars in action when it goes direct. Hopefully, that's in one of those houses in your chart, or Mercury, and communicate that. So, things like raises, things like new jobs, maybe even a new house. You may be working on new projects within the home space. So, yeah, and it is. We did open up for tax season, so maybe you go to do your taxes and you catch something that you didn't know you could benefit from in the past. So just keep a weather eye because there is some blessing there for you. Our last card here, I just want to see what advice do you have for my Scorpio this month? I feel like I called you Gemini. What advice do you have for Scorpio as we move through the month of February? The 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Pentacles, I love this card because it is all that you want in the material realm coming about, like gathering all of your coins, you could say. And the people in this card are in their ships, almost like they're going to a raid. But if you notice, they're raising their horn and not blowing in it like they're calling a raid. It's almost like a celebratory fashion, like they have gotten all the spoils of going where they were going. And I really feel like that's you. You're capable of getting those spoils, and the advice here is that you need to be aware that you are capable of having these things because you're allowed to have them. Spirit is urging you to reach for the things you want and don't draw back. There is nothing wrong with asking for more, Scorpio, because if you weren't supposed to have it, you wouldn't be feeling that pull, right? We may not get everything we want right away because that's just not the way life works, but it is on the way for you and it is in the cards. Literally, if something calls to you and you do desire more, you are quite capable of having it, and you are very much blessed at this time. Thank you so much for joining me, Scorpio. This was a beautiful reading and wishing you a happy February. My name is Echo, and I will see you next time.